What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the new video. Today we're going to talk about how to win her back. Maybe it's some specific girl in your life that you were dating to, in a talking stage with, whatever it may be. This girl has left you, ghosted you, removed herself from your life, and you want to get her back. I get it. I've been there before many times, and I've found some strategies that really work. But before we get into it, I need you guys to do me a favor. Make sure you are subscribed and turn those notifications on. And I'm putting out content to help guys just like you become the best versions of themselves physically, mentally, emotionally, in all aspects. So let's get into it right now. The chances are this girl was probably in your life and you were dating her, talking to her, whatever, and things were going really good for a while, and then all of a sudden, just like that, she pulled back, she removed herself from your life, she ghosted you. We've all been there before. It's a terrible feeling. It's something that I wish none of us had to go through, but that's life, and unfortunately, we do have to go through that sometimes. And I have made all the mistakes in the world in doing this throughout my life. I'm 30 years old now. Throughout my 20s, I made a lot of mistakes with this kind of stuff, and I want to share with you guys so you don't make those same mistakes. So you can actually get this girl back that's on your mind as I'm talking to you right now. I'm sure there's a specific girl that you are thinking about that you want to get back. So let's talk about how to get her back. The first thing you want to do is to look at the relationship, the dynamic, and kind of diagnose why she ended up leaving you. Now, sometimes this is hard because a lot of females will not be completely upfront and honest with you. They'll tell you certain things, or they don't want to hurt your feelings or whatever. So you might not actually know exactly why she wanted to leave you. But the fact of the matter is, there usually comes down to a few things in my personal experience and what a lot of the psychology says about this. Anytime that you are overly focused on the relationship, or you stop working on yourself, or you just show too much emotional commitment, or a lot of things like that, it's very often that a girl will remove herself from your life, which makes no sense because she spent all this time trying to win you over, right? Or that's how it should be, at least. And then suddenly it's like you gave into it, or you agreed to it, you showed the commitment, you showed the investment, and suddenly it's like she's like, nope, no thanks, I'm done here. Or maybe, things just kind of fizzled out, the spark kind of went away, if this is like a longer relationship. There's any number of reasons that this could have happened. So you have to, first of all, look at it and diagnose and assess why that is the case. I don't know exactly what that is for you. And it might be that you have this recurring problem with girls and women that, they come into your life and then they suddenly ghost you or leave you or whatever. If this is a recurring theme, then you definitely need to look at yourself and ask yourself why that keeps happening. You might be giving off a lot of needy energy. You might be giving off a lot of lack of security in yourself, whatever it may be. The first thing and the most important thing is to look at that relationship, look at that dynamic, and try to understand where you have the culpability and the responsibility for why it fell apart, right? Too many of us always want to just blame the girl and be like, oh, she was crazy, or she was nuts, or this or that. And listen, there are a lot of females out there that do possess all of those qualities. But the fact of the matter is, if this girl is somebody that you do want back in your life, and she is a good person, and it is somebody worth, spending time with and dating and spending, your life with maybe, then chances are she's probably, hopefully, not that crazy. Let's hope so, at least. Please don't be attracted to girls like that. I know I have a problem with it too, so don't worry about it. But the fact of the matter is, guys, you got to understand why it happened, and then from there you can understand what you need to do in order to get this back on the rails. But the second thing you need to do is you need to personally develop yourself. Now, you need to be doing this when you're single, in a relationship, trying to win a girl back. It doesn't matter. You need to always be building yourself. That is the biggest thing I preach on my channel, and as a person with my clients that I coach, everybody. I coach guys that are, trying to build their physique and transform their lives, and this is what I talk about all the time. You need to be always building yourself. You need to build yourself physically, you need to build yourself mentally, emotionally, financially. You need to build yourself in terms of your education, your knowledge, your awareness about things, your interest, your intellect. You need to always be building yourself. When you let that slip, females notice it. Why? It's very simple. Females are hardwired for survival. They're hardwired for their own survival, but definitely the survival of their offspring. Now, you guys don't need to have kids together for her to be thinking about these things. I actually know somebody that had a marriage end recently. The female cheated on him, unfortunately, And I'm not excusing that behavior at all, but one of the things that she said to him was the fact that she left him and she began to doubt the marriage because she would sit there and see that he was not very invested in bettering himself, and that she really questioned, well, if we have kids, like, what's going to happen then? Are you going to be able to take care of them? Are you going to be invested in their growth? Are you going to help me, grow as a couple when the kids are here? And, all that, things like that. Females are drawn to money, not because of the fact that it is what money can do. They buy them jewelry and cars and all this different stuff. Sure, there are some females that are like that. But mostly because psychologically, hardwired in their biology is this fact that 100,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, when we lived in, more ancient times and more rugged times, as a man, you needed to be a provider, right? And still in some ways today, people still believe that. And to some extent, I believe that myself too. But the fact of the matter is, like, you literally had to provide the food, the protection, the safety, the shelter, the things like that. And so that's hardwired into the female's mind. If you show that you demonstrate you're always building yourself, you're always learning, you're growing, you're expanding, you're always just leveling up your life, well then chances are she knows in the long run that you're gonna be very successful, right? So a lot of times that's what draws the woman into your life, is her seeing you act like this. But then what happens? A lot of guys, when the girl comes in their life and they get nice and comfortable and they feel, oh, it's a comfy relationship, she's not gonna leave me, she's not gonna cheat on me, they start to slip up with this stuff. All the stuff that drew this woman into their life, now they start to do the opposite of. They're not going to the gym and bettering themselves. They're eating like trash. They're drinking with their buddies instead of, getting to bed on time and making sure they get up and get the things done in their morning routine. These kind of things happen all the time. I've seen it happen constantly. And what will happen is that female is slowly losing respect for you as time goes by, right? You need to understand this. If that girl that you want to get back, if you want to get her back, this can't be an act. This has to be a commitment to yourself to actually better yourself. You can't sit here and put on an act and post some stuff on social media that you're going to the gym and you're grinding, you're learning this new skill and all this different stuff. It will be a charade because she knows that you weren't doing this before. What you actually have to do is lock down and make a commitment to yourself, with or without this girl in your life, that you're gonna always be committed to bettering yourself. From now until you go to the grave. You have to do it. Seriously. This isn't just about getting this girl back. This is about bettering yourself as a man, okay? So you need to be developing yourself, as I said, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, intellectually, everything. Focus on doing those things. Where can you optimize and improve your life? Chances are probably a lot of different areas, right? So that's the second part of it. Now the third part of it is, and this is gonna be hard for you to hear probably, but you need to hear this and understand this. You need to be okay that if this girl never comes back, you're cool with it. Now, I understand. You might love this person. You might be attached to her. You might be completely enthralled by her. This might be the first girl you've ever been with in your life. You might feel like this is your, potential life partner. But the fact of the matter is, guys, you have to be okay that if you do all these things to try to get this relationship back or this dynamic back that you had, it might not work out. And the number one thing that you need to understand is that women want to know deep down that you can be without them. Chances are, if you're listening to that and you hear that and you think, well, why would I ever make her want to think I can be without her? Like that, I want her to know that I can't be without her. You probably blowing her phone up and telling her, I don't want to be without you. I don't want to be without you. You got to stop that now. You got to stop that now. Women want to know that you're self-sufficient and you're building yourself. And number three, you can create options for yourself. What she really wants to know is, I could take it or leave it. He could take it or leave it. He doesn't need me. That is going to be what turns the brain and the gears in her mind to go, wait a minute, am I making a mistake? Like, what if he moves on and finds somebody else? What if I'm not good enough to be with him anymore? He levels his life up and then I'm out of the picture and like suddenly I regret all these things. You have to understand, this is the most crucial part. You need to demonstrate that you can live without her. You need to demonstrate that you can replace her. Okay? That does not mean you need to go on social media or that you should go on social media and start posting all these other girls you're hanging out with, everything. Nonsense. The same way that I said about developing yourself, that she will see through it and she will understand that. She will understand and see through this too. She's going to know it's an act. It's a charade. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you right now, don't send her pictures of other girls. Don't post about other girls. Don't do other stuff like that. You could throw a little bit of like casualness in there, maybe with a female friend or something like that, but don't make it obvious that you're on some date or something like that. It's going to be a huge turnoff to them. The way that you communicate this is subconsciously. You don't reach out and let her know, I need you back in my life, honey. I miss you so much. Don't do that shit. Don't do it. I'm telling you right now, do not do it. That needy energy is quite possibly, if you're doing that, what drove her away from you in the first place. So you don't want to do that, okay? You want to communicate that you could be good by yourself, that you could be good with or without her. Your life is great, right? Your life's great. She's just a bonus. She should be lucky to be in your world, in your reality, in your life. That is the attitude you need to develop. This might take you time. This might take you months. It might take you a year of your life. But I'm telling you something right now. If you get to that point where you feel like, I could take it or leave it, you know what's going to happen? She's going to come back then. And by then, you actually might not even want her anymore. Because now that you've leveled your life up and you've spent this time developing yourself, guess what might have happened? You might have actually landed now a girl that was better than her. I know you don't want to hear that. I know you want to get her back. And chances are you will if you do these things I'm telling you. But you might be able to do better than her. Have you thought about that? If you feel like you can't do better than the female you're just with, that's probably 95% of the problem that drove her away from you. Because when we believe that the person we're with, we can't do better than them, that subconsciously gets projected outward in an energy. It's a needy energy. Needy. The way that we just try to make sure that they're, aware of that, and we communicate subconsciously through our touch and how we talk to them and, the things that we do for them and everything. I'm not saying this in a toxic manner. I mean this genuinely. That if you seriously believe that you can't live without this person, you're already done. You're not getting her back. You need to go back and understand why you feel that way. Can you be single? Honestly, can you spend the next year of your life by yourself? No girls, nothing. Just focusing on grinding and getting shit done in your life? If you can't say yes to that, there's a problem there. There is. I've done this many times. I've spent 2 years without talking to girls before. I've spent 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year. You know what happens every time I do that? Every single time I do that, without fail. New girls come into my life. Have you ever noticed that when you don't try to get girls, you get girls? Why is that? Because you're focused on the things that matter the most. Girls have a nose for that. They can smell that. It's in their DNA. Because of all the things I just said about their biology, their psychology, they're wired to find that. Okay? So if you want to get this girl back, you need to do that. You need to be okay being by yourself. You need to personally develop yourself, and you need to understand why that relationship ended. Before you guys exit out of this video, I want to thank you for being a part of this video. I also want to wish you luck in getting this girl back into your life. I'm sure she means a lot to you. I've been there before. I've had times where the girl did come back and when she didn't come back. But make sure you are subscribed. Make sure those notifications are on. Like the video. Push this out so we can help a lot of other brothers get these females back in their life that they're missing. And I'll see you guys in that next video. I hope you have a great day or night depending on whenever you're watching this.